4:30 or 5 a.m. here, my time. And I'm just doing it off my phone because it can plug into my microscope, but I figured I'd pop up literally on YouTube. And that way, anybody in Europe or Asia or Africa or India, you guys could catch a live stream. So, what we're going to be doing today is looking at some of these samples uh, under the microscope. So we've got samples. Let me pop them open first so we can access them. So we've got lots of samples here that I've put together. Got all new slides and all new gear. Hold on one sec, let me set you guys down. Hey, good morning, friends. So the samples we have that I want to look at under the microscope, we've got a bunch of different algae, including blue-green algae, brown algae. We've got this one's pond water. You can make sure that you see it because of my fingernails, that's for sure. Then we've got actual critters in here, including a fish, a mosquito, a number of things. And yeah, it's like a mini rack system, exactly, a pill counter. And then in here, this is what I cleaned out of a filter that's been running for 6 months. So we got lots of stuff we can look at. And I figured we'd play with the microscope a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna play with the microscope. So let me get this situated and plugged in. Got the other lights on. And welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. Oh, come on, microscope, plug in. Alright, and no fuses blew or anything. Alright, so it's got to heat up for a sec, but I've also got a pipette. We've got a jar from my 5-year-old tank with mulm and some plants and stuff too. So we've got a little bit of everything, and then I've got a little thing to prop up, a little tripod to help prop up the camera. But I'm actually on the YouTube app instead of a streaming app, so I can actually see all your comments, which is handy. Hey, what's going on, Jess? Good morning. Debbie, hello. Mexicali. Let me flip this around, even though I'm like huddled over a microscope on the ground. But S, what's up? Kelly, glad to see you up too. You can't sleep either, huh? Euro Gupper, what is going on? Good to see you guys. And yeah, all right. Chalupa, no tomatoes. How's it going, man? Sunnyside Gardens, Jabo 153, what's up? Solemn, Narabo, Davo, Nate Wild, what's up, everybody? Glad to see you guys here. Trying to set a tripod up one-handed. Alright, you guys are gonna have to just look at the ceiling for a sec while I set this up. Alright, so again, Tennessee, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to see you too. Alright, so let me flip this around. Like I said, it's like 4:30 or 5 a.m. my time here. Still dark outside. Well, light's starting to come through the trees a little bit. But we're set up with a whole new stack of slide covers, and then this is what we've got to look at under the microscope. I'll be taking requests also. Hey, Eurogupper, thank you so much for becoming a member, man. I really appreciate that. It really does help a lot. Like I said, I like keeping the price at $1.99, and just hope that, like, you know, if people want to pay more, that's fine. But if $1.99, if everybody who can handle it wanted to chip in and do that, you know, then it adds up to a lot, and then I know it's coming in each month. Whereas, you know, they pay you once a month with YouTube, and it's different amounts every time, and so you never know what you're gonna get until it shows up, basically. Um, so I appreciate that. Helps me buy equipment like the stuff, like all the stuff I just ordered. Um, but I appreciate that. Thank you. I had to do it instead of a super chat. Hey, no worries. It's cheaper than a lot of the super chats people send. So I understand that. And if you can't afford it, hey, no worries either, guys. Ticket to space. Good to see you. So yeah, I think we're gonna start with. I also took some moss samples from every aquarium. This is a 5-year-old aquarium water here that was in the video the other night. But then we also have pond water. You can see it's green water here, and then we have yellow water from Tannins, and I want to see what that looks like. And we have another pond with green water, but this pond has been a bucket inside in the fish room, so it's been at temperature and warm. And then in here we've got some scuds, a worm, a bloodworm, and a mosquito larva. And we did have a Medaka rice fish in here, but I don't know if he's still in here. He might have gotten eaten by the other fellas in here. And then we've got another little midge fly larva. Then we've got junk cleaned out from the floodway on hang off the back filters. And we have about 4 kinds of algae that we can look at. So I figured we would start off. Let me mount this. So this is how the microscope setup is. We've got a default 10 times optical zoom. And then got slides over here ready to go, and a pipette and paper towel. But I figured we'd just hang out, and instead of me doing this alone, I would have y'all with me. Hold on, it's gonna yell at me about the rotation. It's gonna tell me, rotate, rotate, danger, danger. Yeah, have a safe trip, Robert. Ugh. Have a good time there, too. Alright, let's see here. Now let's get the tripod set up. Come on. Don't be a pain in my butt. Alright. Now I need to lock it all down. And the nice part about this is now we can actually zoom in even more. We can zoom in. Sweet. I can have you guys all on here, all on the stream. Let's see, where's that little hair? Get rid of it. Might have been on the slide or something. You can see my slide is a little bit wrecked, but let's start with big stuff. Let's start with a bloodworm. So we take a look at it. We are at 40 times magnification when we get in here. And here is the monster itself. So this is going to turn into a little fly. And you can see its mouth. And obviously it uses this mouth part for eating in the pond and grabbing onto stuff. And then it's got like claws on the other end of the worm. And it's got food in its belly, squirming around a whole bunch. You can see its mouth there, guys. It'll squirm around again and we'll see its mouth in a sec. See, it's eating mulm. So it's good to see that these eat algae, Or maybe they don't. Maybe it spit it back out. But they're kind of creepy. And then where did its head go? It keeps moving. This is going to be the trickiest one we probably have all night. So I guess that's its tail part right there. And hey, Dr. Traplord, what's up? Craig, good to see you. Let's see here. So that is the little worm, the bloodworm. Let's see if there is anything in the water itself. This is just tank water. But I don't think there is anything in this water. I think it's too clean. I think it's too clean for too legit to quit, too clean to stream. You can actually see its little heartbeat though in the blood vessels, which is pretty gnarly. And it's freaking out because it's in a puddle. I'm not actually putting a slide cover on it. So let's get that guy back out, alive and well. And we'll try the next thing, which is gonna be, let's take a look at some different algae, guys. So we've got, the first one is gonna be slimy algae, like that comes out of like a pond or the top of your tank when it's, oh, hold on, let me suck up some of the excess fluid here. Don't need that. But this is like the algae that you would get on the top of your tank usually. So let's slide that over. Come on. There might be lots of little critters in here too, because this just came off a filter in my aquarium. So probably a good chance of a lot of life in these algae slides too as we check them out. So alright, let's see here. So here you can see the structure of the algae. Almost all plant cells look similar in this way, in that we're going to go in 100 or 2, let's do 200 times zoom. So 200 times zoom, you can see all the little cell walls in the algae that make up that slimy algae. You can even see a little bit. Hey, what's up, Jason? What's up, man? Alishon, what's up? Good to see everybody. So we're just going to be cruising, looking at stuff under the microscope this morning. And the first thing that's up we're going to look at 4 or 5 types of algae. And in that algae, all of it's just from my tanks. So where'd the little bugs go? There were some little bugs in here that we were seeing that we lost track of. In there you can also see, it looks like some dead algae maybe. Let's see. Oh, is that hair? It looks like that might be like human hair. Yep, looks like a strand of human hair. And there's some little critter just freaking out on top of everything. Let's see what the heck that was. Maybe it'll come back. But let me load up the next slides of algae so we can compare. But you can see here that this type is that real sticky stuff, real slimy, furry, and it clings really well. And you can tell, like, actually the surface of the algae. Wish I had a little pointer on my screen. But the algae actually has dots on it, and those are little bumps if you look at it at the angle. And they're actually like little grabbers or little like, oh, there's whatever that thing is. Come on, come back. I'm working at 200 times magnification, so any movement is very precise, like is very quick. That thing is hopping all over. The heck is it? Yeah, it does kind of look like Velcro. It looks like a little. Well, let's add more algae. We'll find out. We'll see more things, I'm sure. Alright, so then we're going to add some blue-green algae. And this stuff looked pretty nasty when I collected it, but let's see here. I'll put that on the other far end. And then we're going to take some of the green hair algae that is the light green hair algae. Grab some of that. And then I'm going to grab some of the filamentous algae that is the super clear stuff that, or the super light stuff that's kind of wavy. I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. It's kind of well, one is the stuff that's darker green, and one's like neon yellowy green. I'm trying to use my finger to get it off onto here. Come on. There we go. Now I feel like I'm just destroying whole little universes when I move water, tank water. Okay, so what we're looking at, that's just a seed shrimp. It's a little seed shrimp jumping around on the algae, and we're just super zoomed in. And there will be a Name That Tune. Oh, sweet. Yes, you rock, Jason. Maybe I will stay up for that then. Again, here you can see some red hair algae too in there. And red or brown algae. Not that this is a dead piece of algae or plant, but right here we can actually see that there's two kinds of algae that make this up. There's the kind that is made up of the little dots on each cell segment. Then there's actually three kinds of algae just in this one sample. And so there's the kind that has the cool rope effect that's in focus in the center right now. And then if we go deeper, there's the kind that is really sticky with the dots all over, which are a texture on it. And then there's the red algae below. Oh, come on. No, it doesn't want to stay in focus. That thing will stop moving when it dries off a little bit. That actually might be a not a seed shrimp now that I saw it for a sec. It might be a little teeny baby cyclops. So let's take a look now at the far other side, and let's get a look at this algae. This is the stickiest mucky algae that you get in your tank when it grows all together in a big clump at the top. And you can see again it has that same cell structure of the helix, of the swirls around each thread of it is swirls, but it does have some texture too. So you can see parts of it that are older and longer have that texture, but we don't see a whole lot of life in this sample. I'm not seeing a whole lot of little critters. Even in the center of it surprises me a little bit. So, oh wait, there was something that moved. And there's another algae that we're seeing right there. That's black hair algae that we're seeing some of. That's a dead algae cell, that black stuff there. That's not hair algae. But this stuff right here, the little dotted line segment, that's way thinner than everything else, that's your blackbeard pain in the butt algae. And it's just mixed in there as if it was chilling. Just chilling. It's 5:30 a.m. They might be sleepy. That's true. That's true. The creatures may be sleeping. Um, but I'll save each of these slides so we can look at what they look like to the human eye afterwards. But you can see that there's still flow in this little drop of algae. They're staying wet on the slide. I'm wet mounting each slide. So then let's look at this other kind of algae, which is, um, this is scraped off of the wood in one of the tanks. And this stuff has a lot more life on it. You can see the blackbeard algae growing. You can see there's an ostracod or a seed shrimp wedged in between some of the green algae, and that is filamentous algae along with a dark green algae that actually kind of looks like blackbeard algae to the naked eye. But it's a dark green to almost like purple reddish color, this algae, when I picked it off. And there you can see a little, what are we looking at? Is that a stentor or a hydra? I can't tell exactly because of the light. Let's see if we can play with the light. And oh no, it's a little single cell organism of some sort. It's like an amoeba. And you can see all the super teeny. Maybe we can zoom in one more level. Let's go in 400 times zoom and see what those little teeny guys are. So now we're somewhere between 400 and 500 times zoom. And this is the black hair algae looking stuff. But apparently it's not all black hair algae. It's something else. There's the black hair algae, the black beard algae. And this little algae swath is full of life, obviously. So there's another one of the amoebas or single cell organisms. One of the, could be a protozoa too. It's hard to say without staining it and observing it longer. Let's zoom back out a little bit. And we can play with the light a bit too. See if it shows us anything else. What always amazes me though is when you zoom in and you get so small and you see how tiny all this stuff is, there's always another level smaller of life on there. Like bacteria is still coating all these surfaces a whole another level down of a whole order of magnification down. So let's see what else is just right on this algae, because algae, when animals eat it, when fish eat it, they're not just eating the algae, they're actually eating, a full meal of other nutrients. So here we can see the black beard algae is actually green, so it actually does photosynthesize. But remember, it looked like a dotted line, and that's because the cell walls on this are what's dark, and there's only a few of the chloroplast cells that we can actually zoom in on. Those are individual cells, and then within them there's chloroplast, what do they call them, blastocysts. Yeah, well, we will be seeing ick and every other kind of thing under here too. All that's in the aquarium. I mean, there's always ick floating around, and it is a protist, if I remember correctly, and meaning that it would look like, see those little, these little things that look just like little grains of rice. It looks like something like that, or those little single cell organisms that are moving around eating the dead algae. It looks something akin to that. It's pretty innocuous. You can tell that these are all different species of organisms just by their size. And it looks like right there we might have a dead sea cyclops maybe, or Daphnia, that round body there. Hard to say. It looks dead though, and maybe these things are disassembling it. So then we also have mixed in with the blackbeard algae, that other algae that seems to be everywhere in all my aquariums. And when you see that super green, that is a whole lot of chlorophyll. So that's like, it means it's turning all that into energy very quickly. Very effective at its job. So then here, look at this. We have a little detritus worm that looks humongo. There's actually a few of them. And you can see in its stomach what it's actually eating. So let's zoom back out a little bit digitally. And you can see a little, another little single cell organism, actually two. You can see the amoeba that's chilling right there, that is moving and cruising. Come on. Where did you go? Focus. There we go. All right. Silly question, but do our fish eat these worms? Oh yeah, totally. This is exactly what your baby fish and your little nano-sized fish and shrimp are eating when they're combing through the algae. When you see shrimp just like combing through algae, they're not usually eating the algae first. They're eating all these, which are protein. And then they'll eat the actual algae, depending on the shrimp. But here we've got, look at this. You can actually see the things that are moving him, his flagella. And it's probably a little paramecium. It's kind of slipper shaped, but he's actually deciding what to eat, or I would say it. Let's see, how do they sense them and find them? They actually have eyes that are tuned to seeing them in some cases, but in other cases, like catfish, they can just sense them through vibrations in the water that are that specific. And they can also tell by chemicals, by when these little critters use the bathroom. Look how long this worm is. It's a long one. That must be the tail end. And then we've got the front end somewhere up here. Is that the front end? It's actually got a heartbeat, this one. So this is a more complex animal. It would be an animal classification. And hello, Ella. Welcome. But yeah, there we go. And there's, I guess, we're assuming that's its head, but some of these creatures have mouths in the center of their body, which is like planaria do. So that could be the mouth there. And also place they use the bathroom. But we've got some species of some sort there. So is anybody keeping track of how many species? Yeah, some fish do have really good eyesight. Alan Tooth, what's up, buddy? Good morning, Alex. Gosh, I love it when you get the microscope out. I'm very much into the micro world. There's so much around us. Well, watch this when... yeah, I think you're right, Euro Gupper. I think they do kind of go just sift through these and filter feed, depending on the fish. There are some fish like micro-rasboras and danionellas and stuff that actually do eat paramecium, all based on eyesight, but also I have a little Medaka rice fish that's a day old, and we'll look at it under the microscope in a minute. Um, but I'm just kind of following this algae. What's that there? There's like a dense spot. Oh, just mulm. But every level, you can see that there's actually more life. There's more little creatures, depending on how deep we're focused into the slide. And where did it go? There was some little critter in there. All right, well, let's look at the next slide over. We'll go back to 200 times magnification. And this one, this algae, is off the blue-green algae. So this is a cyanobacteria. And it has evolved a hybrid form of being part algae, part bacteria. So it should show us, yeah, in the center, it's like a colony. It's actually like a mat of little hairs. And that is a mix. And right now we're also seeing, what we're seeing too is fungi. So that is the hyphae of fungi, as well as the actual algae and a few other kinds of algae all mixed together. So it really shows you that when I show you guys these things not under the microscope, you're going to be like, that's algae. Like, that just looks like normal algae. And how much life is in each of these things. But again, is that something? Is that an animal, or is that something just floating by? Hard to say. There's more of it. It's hard to get light through it, actually. It's very, very dark. Let me get this slide arranged better. So here on the margins, we can see that it's not really looking like much other than algae, but that right in the body of it, I'm trying to get it to focus on this stuff, which we've got fungi in there growing, any little hairy stuff, and there you can see the bluish gray color. So that is part of the colony. But there's algae, other algae growing on this colony. I want that margin of the big old chunk of it. Here we go. And there's those tubes. So those form differently with cyanobacteria than with the cell walls being like little bricks or little blocks. And then this is, as we look along here, we're looking at empty cell walls of dead algae, and then there's some live algae here. And each cell, you can see those fine hairs. That's also... Ooh, what are we looking at there? Hold on. So hard to move this subtly. I'm barely moving it at all. So we've got some sort of little critter here. Is that a stentor or a hydra? Let's see. It's some sort of... Oh, and there's even... Oh, look at that. It went right back into its home. So that foot of it, it's like a sea anemone. Look at that. And then it comes out and it opens up. Let me try to refocus. Oh, so it's got, there's food in the water at a different depth, and it's trying to grab it. But here we have the main creature in focus. So wait for it to grab one of those little things that's moving around, and it'll zoom back into its tube once it gets some food in its mouth. Boy, that's pretty cool. How are we able to see through the microscope? Does it transmit, or there's a camera attached to the eyepiece? I'll show you guys in a second, because I want to show you guys how amazing this is, that this is just going on where it is. Like the fact that this is just a smudge of algae out of the tank and all this life is on it. I want to see it pop back into its little case though again. That was so cool when it did that. Did it do it because I moved the slide maybe? Let's find out. Yep. Bang. It snapped right back in. Look at that. Oh, I gotta know what that thing is. Wow, it moves quick. It must use water or like a little tendon or something. But we're at 400 times zoom. We're way zoomed in. And see, it's eating these little paramecium or proteus, actually. More likely proteus is what it's eating. And, oh, pop back in. That is so cool. And there's some other thing underneath it. Oh, and look at this. Here comes a worm. What's it going to do with the worm? It's in another layer of water. Like, we're looking through not even a millimeter of water. But I want to know what that worm does to this thing. Because they're clearly right next to each other. They're only, you know, less than a human hair apart. And that worm contracted. The other worm contracted. It pulled back when it touched. Oh, that one went in. And now that one went in. Maybe it's another one of the same things. Weird. This is so crazy. Yeah, no question is dumb. Yes, when we clean our tanks, our hands are covered in these things. If I find... Wait, what did you say? Freshwater ichthyology. If I move the slide, bryozoa and vorticella does too. Not sure how they feed though. I just know bryozoa are more filter feeders. Michelle E says, I'm blown away. This is fabulous. Right on. I'm glad to hear that. So let's see here. Okay, so I want to show you guys, this is endlessly entertaining to watch this little thing to me personally, but I'm sure other people want to see other little life forms. We started boring with the algae, right? Because we thought algae would be boring. So let's slide back over, take one more look through at this deeper level zoom. We're at 400 times magnification. You can see the black hair algae at this magnification very easily. You can see that there's basically one cell in the black hair algae of the actual chlorophyll, and there's some dead fragments of it. But that tight cluster that is black looking like a chain link fence is doing its thing there. And then this is filamentous algae that's very healthy. This is one species that has like a spiral staircase look, and each one of those square boxes is a cell. And then as we cruise along here, you can see some algae that has died also. And the cells are a little more dried up and withered because they've just died since they've been on the slide. The light is actually cooking them. And I'm afraid to say that we're cooking all the little critters on these slides. But this is that slimy, sticky, dark green algae that always feels like it gets stuck to every surface. Looks like more of those little dudes who live in the pipes. Might be right here too. Those pipe. Yep, there goes the little pipe. Depending on how we focus, but the texture you're seeing right here when I'm on the top of it is why it's sticky. It's like Velcro and like little gecko pads. If you look at under a microscope at what a gecko's feet look like, it's not that different. And here we're gonna have to zoom back to less zoomed in to understand what's going on here. All right, come on. All right, because see, I've got a pretty nice phone, so we've got the digital zoom on the camera plus the microscope's analog or lens control zooms, and we're seeing things moving every here and there. There's like a little thing moving, like a little inchworm somewhere in there. But there was so much more life when we were way zoomed in. There's some little creature moving in this stack. There it is. What is it? A little amoeba? A little worm. It's a little detritus worm. And let's go back through the slides. So here we have the fuzzy hair algae. We're going to go back down to 400 times magnification and look at that pattern on that one. Kind of pretty. It's like a double helix almost. And might be a seed shrimp of some sort hidden in this stack. Here we've got another little critter, trying to focus on him, but this is like a whole lump of algae that I should have separated out, but I wasn't sure how much we would need to make it visible and worthwhile. But look at that, there's some red. I'm guessing hair, brown and red algae. Freshwater ichthyology may be able to correct me. If I am incorrect. But let's see, that's fish poop right there. And here we're looking at just more algae. All right, so let's scroll all the way back to the first sample. Right here. Which has withered up quite a bit. I mean, look at that compared to when we started. It's gotten heated too much. So there was some little creature jumping around on this, and we couldn't get it in our sights, but it looked to be some sort of little cyclops or daphnia or something like that. So let's try and find that little bugger now that the water has dried up and it has nowhere to go. So that this is essentially now dried out into a flat smear of a slide. That's probably it right there. Yep. So that was the little, let's zoom back out down to 200 times zoom. So yeah, it was some little seed shrimp or ostracod of some sort, I would guess. Angracoids and more. Alex, it's 5 a.m. Perfect timing. Alright guys, so I'm going to take you guys out of the microscope in just a second after we double check that we don't find some other little critter that's of interest on this last piece that's now dry. Come on. So again, this was that hairy, slimy algae that sticks to everything, filamentous hair algae. And I don't know if we're gonna find. That might have been it. That right there might have been the thing that was jumping all over, causing all that noise and ruckus earlier. But a lot of times these little critters dry up into a cyst form or a shell form. And then, hello, Lady Kej. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. No, a lot of these critters don't survive out of water, but some of them are very good at surviving out of water. Some of them are great at it. So I'm going to move this. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the connection or anything. So let me show you what we were working with. What all that life was in was this slide. Does that blow your mind? Are you not entertained? So that is the black hair algae. That is the beard algae. That is the scuzzy fuzzy algae. And that was the filamentous, very sticky, stringy algae. So we went down the slide and then back up. All right, let's do this again. By the way, for those of you who didn't see me, hello, good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. If you are entertained and you'd like to become a member, now would be an excellent time. Yeah, sure, let's see a drop of Dr. Pepper. Why not? Alright, let's see here. Let me find something to pour it into so I don't ruin everything we're working on. Let's see. What do I have around here that I could use? Screw it, I'll use a credit card. Okay. It's not a real credit card, it's like a healthcare spending card. Alright. It'll probably look like some swirls and some bubbles. That would be my guess. It's pretty well mixed by factory equipment, this kind of stuff. Come on. Alright, where are we? Jules Verne voice next. That'll cost you extra. Why? This thing kind of takes a sec to line up and everything. Let's see here. Too far. Oh. I see light. Come on, thing. Good morning, Sandy. Why won't this... I can't get this to line up again. Come on. Come on, cradle thing. Alright, so clearly it's coming in there. So we need to slide it down. And why can't I find the little thing? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Why is the lens look so weird? What did we do? Did the Dr. Pepper destroy the galaxy? Yeah, agreed. I hope Rebecca's migraine has ceased. Is that, what is going on here? I should look down the actual barrel of the microscope to make sure it's still actually lined up on the rig that I'm using. Okay, that's all in place. That's all in place. What is going on? Is it the angle? Oh, there we go. It's going to be the angle that I'm looking at the scope through. So, I can tell you that Dr. Pepper is going to look like a whole lot of nothing. Yep, like bubbles. So we're nowhere near the molecular, or even chains of sugars size. Those are carbonation and some algae left on the slide when the Dr. Pepper got on it. We can see, let's see here. Well, I don't know why this is giving us so much trouble. It started so well, guys. Let me figure out. Oh, it switched cameras. That's why it's... Yeah, so Dr. Pepper looks like nothing. You can see the algae and the other... I'm playing with all the light and aperture sources, but Dr. Pepper is basically just a pain in the butt, apparently. It's not a great medium. It actually is refracting too much light back. Alright. Hold on. So, new types of stain. Yeah, new types of pain in my butt. Hold on. Now I'm just like, how are we going to hook this rig up again? I'm just trying to figure out what's going wrong. Hold on, let me look through the actual microscope on my own. Let me take all this off. Alright. So, we want to be able to see through this. Pardon, guys. We had it all and we lost it. Yeah, nothing would want to live in Dr. Pepper due to the acidity. I don't know about dehydration or any of that. But the acidity alone is probably what would do any of the little critters in for. Let me loosen all these ties, because somewhere we got way out of whack on the way this harness is hooked up. And I want to finish, and I want to look at the little life forms we have. I don't want to deal with this nonsense. Is it because this got turned? And is it lined? Okay, that's lined up. This is lined up. Oh, we're getting back on track, folks. I see literal light at the end of the tunnel. don't know why it's so much light. Why we're seeing so much light. But let's try cranking it, because it should be focusing now. There we go. That's gonna be better when I focus the microscope again. And then we get the thing back in the spot. Because see, what happens on these new phones is it switches lenses on you, which is really annoying. There we go. Actually, the Dr. Pepper didn't kill everything on the algae. That's amazing. That surprises me. But the algae stuff is still just chugging along doing its thing. Okay, weird. Let's try to... It's the... Oh, I see. It's the pressure. I need to put the little kickstand up again. Sorry, guys. This is the danger of doing all this live is that it won't cooperate. And I have hours to mess with all this junk when it's not live. Alright, so why aren't we seeing a focus now? What's your major malfunction now? Oh, I saw light again. Boy, I apologize, guys. Oh, we're just so zoomed in. That's what's going on. There's the aperture. The tube. And then we gotta get the light right. Is the light on this thing actually turned up right? There we go. Okay, so that light's right now. Now we gotta adjust the focus again. Fine and coarse. We want that. Come on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to figure out why this thing is being so difficult. I wonder if something got on the lens and... Oh, wait. Now we're getting focus again. If something got on the lens to interfere with... Like, if it's... I bet that's what it is. I bet this lens has junk on it. Yep. Sorry, everyone. That lens had schmutz on it, and so does this lens. Alright, so soon we're going to be set up for more little life forms. And turn around. Every now and then you guys are putting up with a lot. Turn around. What are we just too zoomed in again? Just too cool for school microscope. Got a line up perfectly. There. Oh, let there be light. I feel it. It's almost lined up. Oh, alright. We're getting somewhere now, folks. We're getting there. We're gonna get rid of the green. Let normal light tell us what's up. When we're staring down the barrel. Exactly with the right camera out of 4. There we go. There we go. That'll be it. Most of these won't be pathogens, just new autotrophs, heterotrophs, a few. Yeah. I mean, these are all yeah, I mean, some people would rather not know what's in their aquarium. But hey, that's what it's called, the secret history living in your aquarium. It's not just history, it's current events as well. Man, we cannot catch a break with lining this camera up this morning. Popped in so easily earlier. There we go. Alright. So here we are looking at the algae again. Finally. No, don't you fall, you stupid kickstand. Alright, so soon we're going to look at some little bugs, some little critters up close. After I get this remedied. Yeah, totally. Wait till you see what's on your skin. What's in your eyebrows. You have mites that live in your eyebrows. That just chill in your eyebrows. That's just their state of being, is chilling in your eyebrows. Alright. Now, little kickstand, do your job and don't knock everything out of focus. We're getting a lot of the polarizing light bleed. I don't know why. Is it the angle we're at? Perhaps. Okay, alright. Now that we've got this back on, so now this is a thoroughly Dr. Pepper soaked slide. Jeez, sorry guys, that took so long. Let's go to the spots that were soaked the worst. Dr. Pepper is start to dry. What I'm curious about is if it will form little crystals on the surface of the slides, like sugar or something. Let's get that focus back. Yeah, baby. Alright. Dr. Pepper appears to destroy algae as it bubbles. See that? All the algae's broken up. And it's turned yellow. And wait, I saw a single cell creature moving around in it. Or maybe a bubble. Those look like... What are we working with here, folks? Magnification on this is... We're at 200 right now. We can go up to 400. Wow, that really the Dr. Pepper really damaged the algae. Interesting. It really, like, broke it up into pieces. Interesting. Now, I wonder how that little critter that lived in the little sleeve thing did. Where's he at? He was down here somewhere. Oh, there's the sleeve, one of the sleeves. Let's see, where did they go? Those must be, I mean, because I took this sample off the slide of, or spillway of my filter, I think that's why we're getting those little guys that pop out of the tube and eat like sea anemones or worms. I think it's because they filter feed all day. But I think the Dr. Pepper really killed a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to get a fresh new slide. We're also going to clear off the stand and the stage and the lens. I even ordered special little lens wipes that are like paper towels but aren't supposed to leave residue. Alright, let's get new samples, guys. Let's start out with, let's get something that'll be active. Let's get the most black water I have. Oh, black water, keep on rolling, Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Let's get a couple pieces of whatever the heck this stuff is. Alright. Now we shall have something to look at. When we get it into focus again. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume that the black water actually has less life because of the acidity, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe on the microscopic level there's just as much going down in Party Town. Alright, I'm gonna try one more thing here as I loosen this. Hope it doesn't press any buttons that knocks us off or anything. But, oh. Like, this should be the this should be our happy place somewhere right in here. If I tighten this now. Now let's see. There we go. Finally. Alright. And we'll zoom in more. So this is a big old clod of some sort of material. That was in the filter of the black water tank. And right off the bat, it looks like we've got some little single cell, maybe protists or something. Let's see, what else do we see? Hard to see what is on the actual lump. Oh, I see lots of movement though now. Different depths. I tried to smush this lump. I thought it was just going to be mulm, but it's something more substantial, like an actual chunk of, or a colony maybe of bacteria or fungi. Something sharp coming out of it. Look at that. Interesting. Let's get another sample. Yeah, so this is the Tannic water, and there are little life forms. Hold on. I saw some moving a second ago. You kind of have to find, you know, a chunk of something that the little creatures are going to be living on. So let's zoom in 400 times zoom. And I feel like this is not as bright as it could be. There we go. So what are we looking at here, guys? You tell me. There's something on the edge of that. Oh, we've got little single cell somethings. Protists or amoebas. Probably not amoebas, actually. Not amoebas. The amoebas are these, like, amorphic little blobs. And let's see here. We saw life, so I know it's around here. Focus. And it's hard to know what any of these little circles are. There's broken pieces of algae. And every time we focus on a layer of, you know, a depth in this solution, we're going to end up seeing more life. And even at this layer, there's still life that is like a tiny little speck. But in here, we definitely have some sort of little protist that are just eating all the nutrients out of the mold. Even if at their size, see how there's still teeny tiny little life forms that are just little dots. We're 400 times zoomed. I mean, this is as much as we're going to get out of this microscope. And there's still so much life to be had. I wish I had a better microscope. That's for sure. Well, let's back off. Get back down to 200 times. And let's actually get some water that has some more substance to it. Something's moving in there. Little swirly deals. I don't know what those are. Little tiny dots moving. Very teeny. I mean, if you could see a baby brine shrimp, it would be bigger than this entire screen right now. So that's how small we are. Corridor Zone, what's up? Let's look at one more clump before I add more life. So it looks like there's some algae or cyanobacteria mixed in here. And it looks like we've got a little worm or something. Let's see, what is he? Could just be a little tumbling thingy-mabob. Oh, now we lost it. These are so small. These are smaller than a grain of salt on the slide. I mean, they're smaller smudges than that. So what we're looking at here is incredibly small. Yet there's life. There's all sorts of life. Especially when we go into this and you can see the water being translucent. You can see all the little thingies moving. So let's take it back to here. Zoom back out and let's get a fresh new slide of let me think of what we want to look at next. How about let's look at we're gonna look at a real surprise for you guys. Alright. And I guarantee you this surprise will not stay still. So let me do my best at getting rid of some of the water. Alright. Now, this is a this is a scud. And he's in a drop of water. We're zoomed in very closely. You can see his organs. You can see his crazy little speeding. Look at that. He's sorting through all the. That's filter feeding. Look at that. Let's zoom out as far as we can digitally. This is all freshwater stuff right out of the aquarium. So this is a scud. His butt even looks like it's eating. But his face, or maybe that is his, this is his head up here. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is his head. In a micro-crustacean, usually their heart is in their head. So that red probably that you're seeing there behind the eye, probably his heart. But look at the little claws this thing has. Little claws and the little, it's using its swimmerettes to constantly filter through. And we don't know what it's trying to eat, but something. Let's see if we can see the texture on its exoskeleton. So it's pretty smooth exoskeleton. Let's see if we can check out its eyes. Are its eyes well formed, or are they some sort of simple eye? Oh, check that out. Let's zoom in on the eye. They look compound, like a spider or something. I think. And look at that. You can see all the water flowing towards its mouth where it's filter feeding as we are zoomed in like this. And oh, there we can see its eye really well. Definitely a compound eye. And he's still eating even though he's just chilling on the slide. Let's go over and see what's new in the other little things I dropped off on the slide. Any other things? How do these critters get into our tanks? They get into our tanks on our bodies, on our plants, in our fish. A lot of these, like that we're looking at here, those could be little cysts or little eggs of some creature, you know, that are waiting to hatch. You never know. And so a lot of these things, like here, you look at them and they could be waiting to spring to life. Right there, I just know from experience, that's a skin cell. And there's either little mites or that must have gotten just contaminated on the slide. There's little mites eating it, doing their little dance on it. So we'll zoom in again to 400, and this is 400 plus my actual extra zoom. See, there's little eggs. There's definitely little eggs being laid right there. And then here we have a little disc-shaped critter that's flat, it looks like, as it turns. Could be a little ostracod. It looks too small for that, though. Yeah, it does look... I agree, Rebecca. It does look like it could be photosynthetic. That's why I'm almost wondering if it's cyano... like planktonic, like photosynthetic planktonic creature. Let's see here. Looks like an asteroid. What's that? Is that a creature on there on its own? In here you can also see the water being sucked out of this specimen as we speak. You can see the different light colors coming out as it's over the hot, relatively hot. It's about 85 degrees, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That is taking up the light itself is going to have that radiating off of it through the main hole in the stage of the microscope. Alright, zoom back out. Enhance. Unenhance. Do 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 do. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, so this is just a big old mess of stuff. This is that clod from the filter spillway. Alright, let's get some more life. Let's try something new. Let's try... Alright, I've got one that we've got to be careful with. Alright, guys. This has got to be quick, because I feel too bad if we hurt this little critter. Alright, what do we got going on here? Let's find the little creature. We got a big old puddle of water on here for this creature's sake, because I want to keep this little creature. Where did he go? This is, oh, there he is. A day-old Medaka rice fish. One day old. He hatched last night. And there you can see the tail. Very barely formed. There's not really much of a spinal cord in there. There is, but I mean, you can see the cartilage there. The tail is hardly any paddle. And his forward fins are really what's allowing him to move in the little puddle. And you can see that the blood cells in the body are starting to form and make it to different areas. If we zoom in even more, you can see his rib cage up under his head that's going to drop down. And then here, you can see organs. And his little mouth. And swim bladder. And his eyes. Let's try to see his eyes by changing this real quick. Did he flip upside down? Hold on. Like I said, I don't want to keep this guy on the slide too long, because I would like to keep this little dude. Whoa, he's quick. I shouldn't have given him this much water, maybe. Alright, you can see his eyes here. And the pupil there. How they bulge out. His eyes are very well formed. And doesn't it make sense, guys, with all the life that lives in the water? And I'm wondering if we give him some of that real dirty water with the life in it, if he'll eat anything out of it on the slide. But I don't think he will, because I think it's just too much for him to be on the slide with all the heat and everything. So I'm actually going to take him off the slide. I'll try to do that with a different setup, with a well slide, a slide with a little container on it. So let me grab him, put him back into his container, and we're going to let's grab some Daphnia or some copepods, something like that. Let me find some life to grab, guys. We'll take a look at some more critters up close. Let's see here. I had some cyclops set aside too in this little container, but it looks as though they may have expired. We'll find out in a sec. Don't mind me while I prep the slides, guys. Sorry. Oddly enough, we have... Oh, did I get... Okay, we got another little life form that you guys might find interesting. It's a little familiar. It's a mosquito larva. A little wriggler. So we'll take a look at one of them, too. And then... What else do we got going on in here? We've got... I had some Daphnia that were alive and well, but I think it may be in the stomach of the little Medaka rice fish, guys. That's all I can figure, because they're totally gone in the same container. They were in the same container, now they're totally gone. Let me look. I'm sure I've got another one. Pardon the delays in the setup, guys. I'm glad you have each other to chat with. And we're going to take the dirtiest sample yet and also look at that. If I could get it on the freaking slide. It's so sticky. Alright. We got one. We're going to take another filamentous hair algae slide, because that seemed to have some interesting life in it. And we're going to take some sediment from the bottom of the tank, some substrate, if I can get that on here. Yeah. Alright. Okay. One last little piece and then we'll be golden, folks. I want to show you a bacterial colony or fungal colony. We'll see what it ends up being. Alright, come on. Come on, you hunk of junk. Now, where did the mosquito larvae just go? I guess there's a reason why no one does this live, usually. But you guys are the hardcore nerds with me. You understand. Oh, I got a new... It's not a mosquito larva. I've got a teeny tiny little something larva, and we'll compare it to a mosquito larva. Alright. Alright, everybody still there? Still buckled in? Here we go. Bye, Brian. Gotta jump off. Have a great day. Alright. It's hard to lurk and listen. Sorry, guys. Alright, Midnight Lobster, what's up? Anita Dab, what's up? Sage P. Lindsay, how's it going? Jean L, so good to see you. Lady Kesh, glad you're still here. Debbie, good to see you. Alright, so we've got some interesting critters in our midst now. Yes, we do. I have a hair in my mouth, but I'm afraid to touch my mouth. Hold on. Hopefully Dr. Pepper will take care of it. Alright, guys, are you ready to rumble? Could I get a clippity clap? A drum roll? Here comes the grand finale of the night. Or morning, or day. I guess it depends on where y'all are at. We're going to find some little teeny life, but we'll also... First, we're going to address the elephant in the room that's wiggling around everything. And let's bring him in. As Jerry Springer would say, let's bring him in. So I want to know what these red dots are. They look like little eggs. Maybe they are. They look like almost like brine shrimp eggs or something. But I think they're cysts of some other kind. Maybe bloodworms. I don't know. But I'm going to figure it out this year by monitoring. So we already know that this will be full of life when we come back and take a close look. But where did our guest go? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. He's over fighting with some algae or something. So, look at that. We've got a, what is that, a worm? We have a couple worms right in there. Maybe a little leech or something. A little nematode of some sort. And then we have our giant guest. But check out what we've got also right here. Is we've got a detritus worm. And let's see, where's he going? Come here. Detritus worm. with his little rounded head and his belly full. Sectional bodies. So he might be a true worm. But see these red dots? These are what I'm curious about. What the heck are these? What are these red dots? Come on. There's a nice red dot. And then you guys are going to see what's making all the water move in just 1 second. Because he's flipping all over. And that is a mosquito larva, a little teeny one. Actually, it's like a nymph. It's probably not even a mosquito. Nobody panic. I just have stuff in my throat that is like hair or something. Man, this guy is flipping all over the place. And this is the smallest, tiniest little mosquito larva you could ever imagine. And he's still way too big. But of course, after looking at all of this under the microscope, even though it's always been here in our tanks, I do not want to touch my mouth or lips for the life of me. Not at all. Where did he go? I see him flipping right by where we're supposed to be looking. And we're zoomed all the way out to 40 times now. Alright, now we're at 40 times. Here he comes. Ta-da. Wait. Ta-da. This is our monster. Right here. And that is a little no-see-um nymph. Not even a millimeter long. And flipping out. Almost too small to see even with my eye. He's extremely teeny version of what usually the mosquito dudes look like. But he's some other insect, I'm sure. Larval state. But yet we can see his blood pumping and his little mouth parts moving. Pretty wild. He moves very quickly. Must have a quick metabolism. See his little spinal cord and his gut. No spine itself, but spinal cord. Alright, back to, let's go looking for cuter things now that we've looked at the silly mosquito. Let's look for more interesting stuff like those sea anemones and freshwater critters. Let's go to the gross part of the slide that looks like a hairball. What do we have here? Do we have some osmosis going on? Or, I mean, mitosis, I mean? What's happening here? Is this something splitting, or is this just a little worm caught on algae? The world may never know. Looks like a little worm caught on algae. But sometimes you can actually catch them where they're splitting and you'll see the nucleus, like the right on the shoulder where he is. You'll see the nucleus and there'll be two of them and it'll split. And that is one of the coolest things to see on a slide. But I think this is just a worm stuck on some algae. We'll continue our journey. More of those little red things, huh? Don't know what those are about. More blackbeard algae. More little red things. Must be a cyst for some kind of life. Well, earlier in the stream, we got to see these really cool things that had like a tube that they hid in that was anchored to the algae, and they came out and grabbed food and went back in like a little eel. Pretty sweet little sea anemone hydra relative, I think. But that algae, look at that, that cool helix form. That is the sticky algae, the filamentous algae. Oh, here we go. Here's a little buddy, little single cell buddy, cruising for some foozing, some food. Problem is we have enough liquid on the slide for that mosquito larva that if I'd wrung it out, which maybe I'll do. See how it's still flowing? If you wring it out, there's a lot of depths that you could be seeing life at and critters at, and we want to find them at the one. Hey Jay Oliver, what's up, dude? Man, my throat is driving me nuts. Hold on, I'm gonna running cough. Alright. Finally got rid of it. It was a little lint ball from my shirt. Alright, here. Let's see. There's the nightmare fuel again. He's drying out on the slide. Whoa, it's me. Hi, guys. Whoa. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap up this chat, everybody, but I want to show you what we're working on and what I'm going to be taking pictures and video of in the next few days. So that's what we are looking at right now. And the mosquito larva that we were looking at, or whatever larva it is, that's it right there. Now I'm zoomed in about 50 times on my phone. There we go. So compared to my finger, my pinky finger, my hands, that is that giant thing that took up the whole lens. Imagine what... No, this definitely hasn't been one of my longest streams. It's been an hour and 44 minutes. I've gone 3 hours, 4 hours in the past. Here's the exoskeleton of one that turned into a flying little mosquito. But again, what we were looking at earlier, which was probably the most interesting thing, I think we'll have to go get more kinds of algae and look at more of those. But all those little life forms were on this algae, and those little guys that looked like little sea anemones with anchors, they were in this clop off of the filter. So I still have a whole bunch of samples here. There's a big old mosquito dude. This is the sample right here. You can see there's another larva in there. There's also some cyanobacteria in there that's blue-green. And there's all of this malmy, this is either bacteria and fungi or bacteria. It's a mat of algae and bacteria that's out of the filter. That is what cycles your tank. And we've also got more little micro critters. That's fish poo all in there from a shrimp tank. And the little guy that we were looking at earlier, who wouldn't stay still also, he has stayed still. These guys, I happen to know, the scuds, they dry out, and you can put them back in the water, and then they'll come back to life. But yeah, so I'll feed him to somebody like my little micro goby. But yeah, so that's what I'm playing with. I wanted you guys to see the kind of time it takes just to get, if I get a good shot or whatever. And I figured we'd just hang out and chat in the meantime while I was doing it. Imagine all of the other little pond critters that are swimming around and doing things out here. But yeah, we'll probably do this again Sunday night, I would guess, because I want to be taking some pictures, so I'll have my DSLR, my big digital camera out, and we've got another kind of algae. We can get some red algae. We can have a whole big old party of looking at stuff under the microscope. But I'm pretty sure it's time for Saturday morning cartoons soon. The other thing is I want to scrape some of the algae, the dusty diatom algae, and compare those with the stuff that you scrape. Like, I'll get a credit card and scrape it off the glass. And then also, that is where I got the sample of that scuzzy filter stuff that we looked at, is just right off of here. And here was where that hairy green algae growth was. So, thanks for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. I am going to wrap it up, pack it in. Let me begin. Yes, they are. Those scuds are a pain. So, I am being too loud, too close to my wife, so I'm just going to come step out here to say goodbye to you guys. But as always, it's been lovely, and the sun is up now where I am at, when it was not when we started. So you guys got me through the night. Whatever gets you through the night, all right. It's all right. And apparently, what gets me through the night is y'all. So, have a good one. I'll see you over on Shanna's channel, 503 Aquatics. I think Stephen P. 2003 and her are doing Saturday morning cartoons together. And I'm going to stay up a little bit longer. Then I'm going to catch my nap. And yeah. All right, guys. Have a awesome day. Thanks for joining me, everybody. And thank you to the new member also. And to anybody who watches the replay this long, holy cow, you are patient. I can't believe you waited through when I couldn't get the phone to line up right with the thing and the stuff and the... Boy. But, All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, Euro Gupper, you made it all the way through too. Holy cow. I'll see y'all um, over where Degenerate Fish Keeper cannot be. I'll talk to you guys later, and probably Sunday night around the same time, maybe a little earlier for the European folks. So morning stream for Europe and an afternoon or evening stream for Australia and most of Asia. Um, we'll do that. Have a good one, guys. Take care, and thanks for joining me. Shanna's channel is 503 Aquatics. Sorry about that. 503 Aquatics is where it's on. Saturday morning cartoons, 503 Aquatics. And say hashtag Alex sent me if you go over there, especially if it's your first time. Yep. Hey, Nano Aquarium guy, what's up? Good to see you. It is about to start downpouring. I can hear it coming on the trees. Lady Kaj, you stayed with us a long time too. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.